Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I teach you to learn to cope and remind you that you are not alone. In today's video we are going to be talking about the powers of distraction and more importantly, my favorite form of distraction, video games. Now you may be saying, but Taylor, we heard that distraction isn't healthy and you need to face your problems head on. Well, yes, but distraction is a coping mechanism for a reason, and there are some times when it is the only way to get through a situation. For one, maybe you're not emotionally ready to take on the situation yet. I've had many people message me on Twitter telling me how video games helped them through their high school and college careers when there was some pretty dark times due to bullying. And unfortunately, this is a pretty common thing in the society and the world that we live in right now. Reason two is maybe you don't have the means to deal with the issue at this time. I'm going to give you a personal example for this one. I've had some financial difficulties in the past due to some untreated bipolar disorder, so I had to claim bankruptcy in the past. I have, thank goodness, since been discharged, but it's a waiting game at this point. So sitting around waiting and thinking about it is just going to stress me out. It just makes me anxious, just makes me upset. So playing video games is a great way to distract myself because there's nothing I can do about it right now anyway, so why worry and make myself feel like crap because of it? There are many reasons as to why someone may choose distraction as their mechanism for coping. Sure, it isn't the healthiest way all the time, but the point is to get by, to find something that'll help you get through the darkness, especially when the darkness doesn't look like it's ever going to end. I had an amazing person message me on Twitter the other day about his past experience with distraction via video games. He had messed up his ankle pretty bad a few years ago, so moving around wasn't really possible. So he spent the vast majority of his time in his house alone, and he found refuge in video games. He was able to communicate with other people and still keep those connections with the outside world without actually having to go anywhere because he couldn't. The funny thing is the whole time he was telling me his story, he kept talking about how pathetic he was that he found so much support in video games. But honestly, isn't that the world we live in now? The vast majority of our communication is via social media, video games, voice chats online. That's just the world we live in now. I tweeted a few days ago asking people to like it if video games ever helped them through a dark time. Within 3 hours it had over 60 likes, and now a few days later it's over 200. My boyfriend Josh is a perfect example of how video games can do so much good. We were 18 when he was first diagnosed with multiple different physical ailments, and his late adolescence to mid-20s were full of surgeries, procedures, hospital stays, general roughness, and just feeling alone most of the time. He moved from house to house, never really feeling like he had a home. One of his surgeries was to create an ileostomy to try and clear out the ulcerative colitis that he had. If you don't know what an ileostomy is, it's when they remove the large intestine and they sew a part of the small intestine to the outside of your stomach. I'll put a picture of it up so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. This isn't something that a young person usually has to deal with. He became very self-conscious, barely left the house, and generally just felt horrible. His weight increased from 180 to about 300 pounds because he wasn't active anymore. He just was worried that people would see it and it made him feel self-conscious. He was told then, though, that he could get it reversed if he lost 80 pounds, which he did do. He did get the surgery. And I asked him to give me a quote about how the time was for him, and he says to me, "Video games helped me forget I was falling apart." So this was very powerful for me because I was there for the vast majority of his struggles. I saw him decline. I saw him getting worse. And every time I voiced my opinion and I voiced my concern, he just brushed it off. He told me that there was nothing that I can do. And honestly, I'm just glad he found something to help him through that dark time. And for that, I am forever grateful. The amount of people who can honestly say that video games saved their lives is astounding. And honestly, I am just so happy you guys have found something to help you through those dark times. You may feel alone, but I promise you never are. I'm always just a quick message away if you need someone to talk to, and there are tons of people out there who are willing to hang out with you and play with you if that is something that you need. I promise you're not alone. So that comes to the end of our video today. thank you for watching. If you have a story in which video games have saved you or helped you through anything, consider commenting below. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, DM me. I would love to hear about your experiences and how you pulled through them. But until next time, be kind to others, but more importantly, be kind to yourself, and I will see you next time.